the semi-finals-ish. Close.
Immortal Fate, don't eat it. Don't eat it. It's not safe. Throw that in the bin. Never take anything off strangers, Immortal Fate.
Oh, I like how Slack's got some random reaction out of Immortal Fate afterwards. It's like, huh? How do we even lead into that? I guess a game's happening.
These are peak interviews, John.
Yeah, these are
absolutely peak interviews.
It's been a pleasure.
It has.
To have these throws. So hopefully this game is not going to be too throwy as well. This should be a fun one. BetBoom up against MOUZ. And this is one that I've been looking forward to, Mikey, because we haven't had a chance to cast our boy Mid1. Mr. Yike, it's been a while. He's gone off to Europe, and he's been playing Husker in this tournament. See how much he can get done. A little bit of a scuffle over those runes, but not too much. They get away with an extra on the side of BetBoom, and they're going to be nice and happy about having all of that extra as well. Already a little bit of a chase out. I'm keen on seeing, again, how much we can get out of the mid. Because Mid1, it's a Husker. It's laning up against an SF. It is a Shadowmire Magic SF. So theoretically, it shouldn't be too bad for Mid1. Can just soak some of that damage. He's going to get a good amount out from his Berserker's Blood. He's got the Cauterize Facet as well, with the Dispel and the Reheal. And it is a manageable lane for our Husker. Mid1 hasn't gone for any level yet. No Burning Spear, no Berserker's Blood. Hanging on to that first skill point. Early on, I would say, if you don't commit for that full aggression with the Spear, of course, GPK should have a good time in the first 2 levels. Mid1 does go for Berserker's Blood first for a little bit of that bonus. But it's not too rough for SF. If you want to pivot slightly, your right-click damage still hurts. There's not much Mid1 can do outside of just trying to burn you down. And you do have really long reach on that SF in comparison to the Husker. Your attack range is 400. You've got 125 to kind of try to kite around here for GPK, and you're already seeing the effects. Mid1 not having a happy time there.
No, neither is Miro top lane. Kaori able to secure First Blood on the Warlock. And I'll be frank, I thought First Blood was going to be drawn down bottom because you had that Jakiro Abaddon lane available to you on the side of the Radiant, but BetBoom unable to find it. It'll be MOUZ that secure First Blood, as we are going to have a quick pause and a quick unpause. No words being exchanged.
Yep. Just a quick fix. No need to dwell on it, I suppose. Just minor issues being sorted out. As you mentioned, bot lane can be highly aggressive. I mean, you're not quite at that level 2 point for save. You know, when you get the dual breath out, that's when things can really start going. For Kiritich, this lane is pretty easy to manage. Yamich just doesn't have that impact. It is a Spirit Breaker. You have to pull the lane. You have to soak that EXP. You have to play it a little bit slower. You're providing a lot of leeway for the side of BetBoom to just out for the side of MOUZ to kind of get what they'd want to an extent. But again, BetBoom shouldn't be struggling too much with Kiritich also just finding some free farm for himself. In fact, they're diving pretty deep early on here.
I mean, they just can. It's the Jakiro Abba. You can do this. Thankfully, the TP out will work out this time around, but it's just such a devastating duo of heroes to have in the safe lane. And if you are the side of MOUZ, you've just got to get through. Just get through this laning stage without feeding too many lives away.
It's a bit unfortunate as well. Yamich was holding on to his level 1 skill point for a long time, opts for the bash, ends up having to TP home. If he had charge, maybe, you know, you could get back in that lane, poke back. They waste some resources on the side of BetBoom, not able to really punish. Taking a look at that mid lane again, Mid1's been copying a ton of damage, but does have the level 2 Berserker's Blood now. So can regen quite fast through the onslaught that GPK is trying to apply onto him. For GPK though, it hasn't felt like that high pressure Husker lane. You don't have a range advantage on the Husker, as we mentioned. GPK is able to just control the lane as best as he wants. And Water Rune control, it is something that Mid1 has been on top of. He denies one, but you still take the other on GPK. As long as he has access to one rune, he's happy in this mid matchup. So I'd say for the early start, BetBoom getting a little bit of that edge outside of maybe top, having a lot more pressure onto Miero. Crystallis has been having himself a pretty decent game overall, all things considered, although again, not the quickest start yet, but not really shut down by Miero either. Double melee into Troll can be a little bit slower going, and you have the sustain from Kaori to help keep you up. Again, the key thing is, for Mid1 in this position, being equal with the SF, not really shutting down GPK, is he going to be able to find some good openings later on? Because it isn't the worst Husker game in the world. There are some annoying things, like, say, Spike Carapace from Kataomi later on some engagements can hold him back. There is enough chain stuns as well to just right-click down mid one if he's not too careful. And having Abaddon on hand with that Withering Mist just means that sustain game you'd want to play for mid one isn't really there if you're comfy enough.
Yarrow having a very tough time here. The Fatal Bond's still going, but stick charges will keep him alive, and he did have the Healing Lotus just in case. I mean, you're speaking about mid one. I feel like the only way mid one's able to apply pressure onto GPK is if we do see a charge out from Yamich onto that SF, but you're also relying on GPK being out of position for that. There is plenty of turn potential when you've got this Shadow Maya Raze build. You never really want to get too excited against this SF of GPK. Yamich, for now, just trying to ensure Boom has a decent time, as they are going to TP Kaori in to help out with this bottom lane, saving Kutic very, very deep. They're still going for Boom, though, and Boom's the first one to go down. Save. He's actually walking out of there with the Aphotic Shield. They can't kill him. They're both too tanky. And mind you, it is just a Warlock support rotation, but even with 3, they just do nothing against this duo.
Issues again. This is a level 2 Shadow Word popped onto Boom. Withering Mist just means you're really not healing much. You're not able to actually leverage some of that turnaround potential you normally have with Shadow Word. So again, just the issues abounds here for MOUZ. The Warlock pick doesn't feel great if Kiritich is able to just hit. Eventually, mid one's going to have to confront this Abaddon as well, and have to, again, deal with the fact that you won't have HP regen. This Abaddon's just a big question that I feel like you haven't really answered on MOUZ outside of kiting. We'll have to see if they can start to put a stop to Kiritich, because this has been a free ride in the lane. He's going to have a Radiance timing relatively soon. He's got his phase boots flying up as well. There's a lot of chase down potential for Kiritich, and that early damage has been quite overwhelming. At the least, for the side of MOUZ, they get rune control on mid one.
And they got a haste rune as well, so mid one. Go for a dive. Spike Carapace committed, but GPK! He's going to be here mid one. Barely able to survive. Very close call. They just did not have quite enough burst from GPK to finish off the job. Kataomi in the end still going to end up going down to the Fatal Bonds of Kaori.
They find a kill. It takes a lot of effort out from the side of MOUZ.
Just being dived. It never gets easier.
No.
Yamich, he came in as well. They didn't have the dual breath at the time saved to keep going. Meanwhile, top lane, Miero going to be dived now. Life Break is there. They'll impale mid one. GPK with the Requiem from the high ground will find mid one immediately. On a Kaori as well. Kaori running, will not make it. Crystallis is at least able to retreat, but a massive rotation from GPK and a double kill claimed, as well as both of the Shrines of Wisdom.
Yeah, early wins abound for BetBoom. Again, it just feels like their draft has answers. Their movement has been very on point. We haven't really felt the impact of Yamich and his charges, and that is a consistent issue that's going to be coming out. You want to play quick on the Spirit Breaker, losing out on Shrines of Wisdom, not having that quick level 6 on this hero, really going to impact your early rotation potential, which we have seen before. A slow game for Spirit Breaker does not feel good to play from behind.
Kataomi charged again. Spike Carapace was there. Bash, very lucky from Yamich. Fatal Bond still going, might just do the trick, and it does. Yamich able to secure the kill on this Nyx Assassin. MOUZ, they'll just back off, not looking to push anything too far. So we've seen multiple times GPK happy to rotate whenever necessary.
Yeah, but all of this action has to happen up top, which means, you know, it's not the most secure time. No, amp damage.
Amp damage indeed. Ice Path's going to lock down mid one now. No, he can't even have a chance at fighting back. Miero takes him out. Onto Kaori. Kaori not going to survive this either by the looks of it. High five at least before he dies. A very, very dominant start thus far from BetBoom.
Yeah, they've just taken control, taken over this early aggression, and all of this happens so far away from Kiritich, who's just not under pressure from Boom. There's not much this Morris could really do to stop that. They've got the room to siege onto the mid. I do appreciate mid one. He was trying to life break out, hoping the creep would give him enough distance to disengage. Just not, it wasn't far enough. It was just barely within melee range anyhow. And now, again, this mid does not take too long. You've got Jakiro on hand with Liquid Fire to help speed things up. You already popped the Chaotic Offering. There's no defense threat out here from MOUZ whatsoever.
Pace out onto carry again. Kataomi happy to just cut through the mid lane, and it's just that easy once Miero's around. Feels like BetBoom can just kill anyone at this point. It's just no problem. They've got so much damage, so much control. MOUZ backs against the wall already.
I'm not sure where you're hoping your initial power spike comes in now on MOUZ, because again, mid one's going back for the Armlet, as you tend to on the Husker. You haven't had the strongest rotations coming in from Yamich. You haven't had the best lane for Boom. Mid one and Boom bottom network cores. In fact, Boom is only 500 gold above save. The pause 5 Jakiro in this game. It's like, it's not a good game state for the side of MOUZ. They're going to have to try to recover. Their jungle is relatively open. There are some wards watching on the edge of the ramp. At least they could try to build up some stacks. And Crystallis is having a good time into the Battle Fury. It just feels so hard to pin your hopes on a troll. Again, we saw the win rate of this hero. It's not been a winning hero. Into an Abaddon as well. That kind of takes away your healing when you're trying to battle trance. I don't know. It feels like you wanted to have control earlier for MOUZ, and now they're going to have to find a recovery path, some item spike, maybe a blink on Boom or the Yules on Boom to help set up, or at least help disengage, help break up some movement across, interrupt perhaps of GPK's channeling for Requiem. Some utility can come out there. Miero is just free to run around and poke, doesn't really care. Has a lot of threat with just a Corrosive Haze if he hits someone. And yeah, it just feels like if you're BetBoom right now, you don't care too much. Mid one's TPing bot, but they don't care about that either.
A simple ice path save, able to disengage very easily. Miero is still perfectly safe at the top lane as well. They can't really apply the pressure towards the Slaughter right now. BetBoom still on the hunt, like Kataomi, just casually waiting in the mid lane for somebody to show up. Will eventually pop the Vendetta. Gonna head up towards the north of the map, see if he can get someone at that top lane. Crystallis, he's the one they really want. Carry, he's in position to break the smoke rotation, but both of them are in the tree line. Ice Path gonna find the Warlock, but Crystallis also spotted out. They'll drop the Golem. Crystallis forced the Battle Trance to try and fight through this. Meanwhile, Boom, a great arena in the back, but a Requiem out from GPK. Gonna make it impossible to keep going. Kiritich, he'll take down Crystallis. Yamich has charged in onto the Abaddon, but he's just too tanky. He's not threatened at all. Boom now being chased by Miero. On the river, there's no escape. Boom will also drop. Yamich at least able to avoid the gank that was MOUZ. But BetBoom, they're just unrelenting.
They really are, and I appreciate all the small plays they get done there as well. Kiritich dances around a spear on the re-engage, on that chase down onto Boom. He approaches Crystallis while he's battle trance. You see the effect again of Withering Mist. You're not able to lifesteal your way back up to full at all on this troll just because Abaddon's there. Again, this here is just going to be a massive issue for the side of MOUZ. You'd want the source of break, not even worrying about borrowed time, just actually worrying about Withering Mist, and whether or not you can find that, who knows. Kaori being chased down now by Kataomi.
The classic drop a sentry ward, see the Nyx assassin. Can he escape? Probably not. Miero's here. He'll try to heal himself up, but there's just no chance. Miero now dominating on the Slaughter. MOUZ still looking for an answer to the aggression being provided by BetBoom. At the least, they still have Crystallis farming very, very nicely on this Troll Warlord. Only issue, John, it's Troll Warlord.
It's Troll Warlord. I just can't see the light at the end of the tunnel for Troll. It's just so challenging. Right? The ideal circumstance feels like you kind of have to arena and isolate away Kiritich, allow the troll to hit some softer targets, to have mid one also just try to focus on softer targets at this point. Probably save, maybe if you can find, I'd say it's a closer possibility to kill off GPK over Miero. So if you can find some of these squishier targets, yeah, even Kataomi, although he can be a little bit more annoying with a Spike Carapace. kind of try to isolate these away, pick them off, and hope for the best in the re-engage. Like, say, without these tools available to help Kiritich pin heroes down, the AB is not as big of a threat, and you still have this window where mid one is still somewhat tanky, even though most of the damage coming in from the side of BetBoom tends to be physical because they've got the Slardar. There is some magic that he can cop through as well. It's just a matter of he's getting controlled out. And again, he's getting his healing cut through by Kiritich up here.
Arena down, Boom. With the golem set up as well from Kauri. Charging from Yamich, landing on both Kataomi and Kiritich. Kataomi still barely alive thanks to that aphotic shield, but now mid one. He jumps Kiritich. Has he gone too far? I think he might have. Mid one. He can't survive through it. 1 for 1, but certainly in the favor of BetBoom once again. Miero showing off his blink. MOUZ gonna have to lick their wounds and back off, but not before Miero jumps again onto Boom. Just a quick warning shot.
Just threatening onto the side of MOUZ, and for BetBoom, they're taking these fights without GPK even. Right? Like, you don't have the Requiem there, you don't have that main source of area control on the side of BetBoom. You are seeing how hard it is to handle Kiritich. You don't mind trading away Kataomi like that, and that's Arena down. I think the idea in principle is correct on the side of MOUZ, but they need to avoid Kiritich. Like, if you get that Arena, just leave that core away.
Port, silence, stun, everything. Crystallis gonna pop the battle trance. Yamich gonna charge in along with mid one, trying to save the life of the Troll Waller, but they're just casually waiting. Kataomi will snipe him with the Vendetta. Mimo mid one, trying to fight back, but he's gone to boot. Yamich, on the run, gets a charge away at least. But it's just so rough. That's your carry and your mid laner getting deleted up at the top lane. And BetBoom, they're not even sweating.
No. I mean, they find Kiritich, they catch him without bar time, was popped below, but it's not enough to compensate. You still win big here on BetBoom. You're not closing the gap by any means just yet on MOUZ. Again, you're starting to get some activity out from GPK. He's got the Yashakaya. That added cast speed on Requiem, gonna feel nice and quick now for control. You can catch a lot of these heroes off guard on the side of MOUZ. No, BKBs are being queued up on all cores of MOUZ, but it's still a long ways off. They don't have the farming speed to keep up with that one in comparison to these early spikes you're seeing from BetBoom. And if you're BetBoom, you just don't stop this pressure. Keep running up, keep forcing these issues, keep finding these kills. They're invading the top jungle, using that bounty rune as a little bit of bait with the invis here on GPK. Maybe they catch something tasty, but good sentry coverage at least coming out here from the side of MOUZ to spot anyone out.
Kauri, avoid the initial raise at least from GPK. In fact, now Boom with the Arena has caught GPK. Will put a cancel to that Requiem. Yamich even charging in, but they are lacking just so much damage right now. GPK was never really in danger. As MOUZ, they decide better off trying to continue forcing this fight. They'll hold their ground at that top lane. Boom's underneath vision as we speak. But he does eventually retreat. And so will BetBoom.
Yeah, it's fairly big committal out. I guess Arena's not the longest cooldown here for MOUZ to throw out like that. So it's not as bad as, say, dropping the Chaotic Offering as well for no effort. Roshan has begun here for the side of BetBoom with a Slardar on hand. It doesn't take too long. And because you don't have Arena, you don't have a way to run down into Rosh. First Aegis going the way of BetBoom. They'll have that safety net for GPK. And this SF is about to hit its blink. I don't know how to stop this. It's a lot of pressure out on Boom. Like, this game is on the Mars. You have to be on point with the Arenas. You have to be on point with the Spear interrupts. And you have to kind of set up for big Fatal Bonds Chaotic Offerings. That's how you get back in this game for MOUZ. It's just so hard to see those angles. Like, even getting Chaotic Offerings off, Aphotic Shield dispelling it off is not going to feel great whatsoever. You at least save some of the bigger cores from this shared burst damage that can come in. The reduced healing. No early breaks as well to kind of deal with that. So you're just constantly not having that longevity you'd expect when you're playing a Husker, or even the Troll from Crystallis. Popping that Battle Trance has done very little to help him find a second life. Just because Kiritich is, again, getting some tactical right clicks off.
BetBoom just not dropping the ball whatsoever here in this game one. Heritage going to move into that top tier 2 tower. No defense to come for MOUZ. Still biding their time, allowing Chrysalis the farming space in this Troll Warlord. And props to him, he still holds the net worth lead on the Troll. But he is starting to lose objectives now. Meanwhile, bottom, they found Boom. And with a Requiem, GPK, no messing around as Kataomi gives him the talentless.
Yeah, he's feeling it. He's been all over the map. Good old Kataomi. He's been setting up for a lot of these engagements and pickoffs, as you'd expect. On the Nyx, already has his blink up as well. He just easily weave himself in and out of these fights. And for the side of MOUZ, all you have to do is just mitigate some of these losses. Wait for the BKBs to be up. You have decent team fight with Arena plus Chaotic offering. You have good damage still left to pump out. You just need some safety nets. You just need that debuff immunity. And, you know, you start to have a game. 6k lead still standing for BetBoom. Tormentor going to be taken as well, so getting the double whammy of Roshan plus Tormy. Going to feel quite nice here for the side of BetBoom. Get that shard up on Kataomi as well. He does have the even worse things to come. Break on Vendetta. You don't even need to worry about getting the Withering Mist off onto someone like mid-1. Just break him. Nice and easy for Kataomi. Oh, Yamich.
A bit of a charge, but he went right into Kataomi, not realizing he was there. And that's going to be a nice, easy one. Kataomi just in the Vendetta with the Spike Carapace. Nothing you can do about it.
No.
Yamich is trying to push out waves for his team.
I mean, he's buying time, I guess, right? Like, that's free space. Mid-1's not been shoved away. Crystallis is still keeping up to an extent. You are getting that slow but steady build-up into the gold you need. You are applying some laning pressure even out from Kaori, just getting some of the imps going there. Still a bit of a clump up now from BetBoom. Next row still a ways off. They are smoked up. Don't quite have the forward vision in the triangle to really spot anyone out. Neither do they have anything down bot. It's a little bit of a blind guessing game here.
Well, they see the mid. Yamich gonna be the target. Yamich. No chance.
Boom's still going.
He's committed. He commits the TP, but he'll be okay to blink out. But the tier 2 mid tower, it cannot blink out of here.
No. Gonna be taken. And again, you still have, what, a minute on Aegis for GPK. You can afford to take these risks, take more of these outer towers, shut down the map, make it uncomfy for MOUZ to play the catch-up game. They've not been able to cut the creep wave down bot either mid-1. Been holding off, so there is like 2 creep waves coming into another tier 2.
Kataomi.
Oh.
Leave him alone. Leave him alone. You're a big bully, Kataomi. Poor old Kaori.
And you gotta do it.
I mean, you've got to do it. Oh, not the voice line!
Okay, that's a bit extra.
That's a
little
classic.
bit extra.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. I do the same thing, John. I'm toxic as hell.
Yeah.
Kataomi. I respect that.
Yeah, it's fair. You know, you use every tool at your disposal. If all chat voice lines demoralize and tilt your enemy, why not? You know?
Absolutely.
You're playing for the win. You're playing for that slot in the lower bracket finals. Of course, you'd want to do everything you can here on BetBoom, and the same thing goes for MOUZ. Okay, we should have a few of these BKBs flying out. Mid-1 has his in the courier. You're still a ways off from Boom, but not too far. And you've got that BKB in Crystallis. So at the least now, you need not concern yourself with Requiem, with a fear. You know, a little bit of that control disappears. The physical output is still something to worry about, but you have some angles to play. We've got to see if MOUZ can execute on that. Again, potential here.
Kataomi. They'll have Kaori around for mid-1. Kataomi, though, into the sentry. They'll see him. They have the knowledge to back off. Dust will not connect. Kataomi's still able to wrap around. Voice lights out again from Kataomi. He's having a great old time. Chrysalis is going to show up. MOUZ, they want to force this fight. Yamich, he'll hit the dust this time. Into the Nether Strike onto Kataomi. He'll even drop the arena. You've got to squish the bug somehow. But Kiritich wants to continue the fight. Keep in mind, you've got the Kaya Sanj on GPK if he finds a nice angle for that Requiem. it might be just dire straits for your team. But thankfully, MOUZ, they'll hold the high ground, and BetBoom, they'll wait out this next fight.
They show a lot of respect here on BetBoom for MOUZ, even after Arena's down. Maybe just not wanting to clump up for Chaotic offering Fatal Bonds. It is a fairly tight area where that fight did break out on. And you do rely quite a fair bit on Kataomi to actually do some setup, right? Like that Spike Carapace is doing a ton of work here. Those are some crazy odds.
Mike.
That is just insane. 1.01.
I don't think it's that bad. I don't think it's 15 to 1 bad. I mean,
no.
it's you know, it's a struggle, but it's not 15 to 1 struggle.
I would say maybe 1.5 to 8. You know, it's something that's like,
right.
It's unlikely, but it's still possible. It's early in the game.
I mean, I still say Crystallis can still carry this game.
I can't believe you're justifying Troll.
I'm not justifying it. I'm justifying it against the 15 to 1 odds, Joe.
It's kind of wild to hear you say that. I think Crystallis can win this game on Troll. I mean, he can.
He can.
It's difficult. Very difficult.
Very challenging.
There's still a lot of questions to answer. Blink is up now for Kiritich. It still feels like this ABBA is just having a free ride. Right? Again, as long as he hits with Withering Mist, I think that's my main concern. It's just all your healing, all your sustain just getting taken away is massive. Sanjin Yasha up for Crystallis.
And a BKB. Still 9 seconds on that. Kataomi gonna get spotted. They love hunting this man down. They're Kataomi. Making life hard. Almost taking down Boom. They will get Kataomi eventually. And maybe they could find more if BetBoom want to force the fight. But it seems though once the Nyx Assassin's down, they have no interest.
Yeah, they're showing, again, a lot of respect here. They've got their own BKBs up.
Never
Fresh
mind.
one here.
4-man smoke. They're moving in. Smoke broken on mid one. GPK looking for the angle for the Requiem. Miero will jump in. He's found the Husker. The ice path is nice. Requiem committed. Mid one, but the Golem drop. It's onto 3. Now the turnaround. Miero, he's starting to drop low. Mid one, he'll keep jumping in for more, but GPK forcing them back just a little bit. As MOUZ will lose nobody, but neither will BetBoom. Both sides are able to walk away unscathed.
They should take the re-engage. No Chaotic offering, no Arena. Pretty big opening for the side of BetBoom if they'd want. They have to respawn as well on Kataomi. I wouldn't be surprised if they hung around the area, maybe waited for a secondary use of Requiem. That would align with Arena cooldown coming off, but aren't too concerned about that. No, not the biggest loss in the world for BetBoom anyhow, just losing Kataomi again. These pickoffs are starting to even out just a little bit more here for the side of MOUZ. But there's still a lot of work to be done. 1:14 until Roshan's back up. And that's really where these fights start to get high risk, high reward for both sides. You can't allow the Rosh to go towards Crystallis. An extra life on the Troll starts to become a bit daunting. At the same time, ages up again for BetBoom would be massive. You're already having issues finding Kiritich as they catch.
They're used up. Keep in mind, Crystallis never needed to pop the BKB in that last fight. So he's still got it off cooldown with the 9-second charge available. A BetBoom on the hunt, finding nothing. Now a 4-man smoke from the side of MOUZ. 35 seconds for Roshan to be available. MOUZ. They'll cut through the river, trying to get into the Radiant Triangle. BetBoom, they'll break the smoke with Kataomi. Ice Path will land onto Boom. Kiritich to move in, but eventually retreats. Jump in from Miero. 2-man slithering crush. No follow-up though. Nice little regen for mid one. He gets a reset in the middle of this fight.
Yeah. Get back to full. Again, I'm a little bit surprised by how conservative BetBoom are. They break that smoke, they have the high ground position, they get the vision out with Kataomi in that Vendetta, and they don't want the commitment. They have a window where Chaotic Offering's not there. Arena's up, sure. But again, you have some key BKBs anyhow on Miero up, so you can chase right through that. See if this smoke starts to pan out into something, because Roshan is back up. You'd want to win that fight into that objective for the high ground here for BetBoom.
Well, they're going to break this. Oh, they found the primary target. Mid one. He's still alive, but not for long. He's down. There's Crystallis. He'll pop the BKB battle trance. He knows he has to fight. Kataomi going to be fine with the Yule Scepter to avoid for now. They'll still lock him down in the arena. Meanwhile, Miero trying to move in, and GPK, he'll do the same, but the Golem drop is out onto 3. They'll continue the fight, though. Crystallis, he can do nothing without the Battle Trance. It's GPK cleaning up on the SF. 3 down for MOUZ. And Roshan is now available for BetBoom.
And it is. They buy back as well in Yamich. At the least, Yamich can start to clear out some of these creep waves while the Roche is being taken, so he can stall for time. But you are seeing the issues again in terms of isolation coming in here from BetBoom. The BKB is pretty good in providing a bit of a buffer time where you can actually lifesteal away without worrying about that Withering Mist. But again, what happens afterwards? You are also quite tanky on the side of BetBoom. Your burst damage, not really there outside of just committing on these softer supports. When it comes to the cores, you know, it's not as much of a threat like, say, Blink Requiem from GPK that we've been seeing. On top of any hero, they're likely just dead. He does use it more as a zoning tool in that last engagement, but it does pay off. And I like this build on GPK, straight for a refresh. He's not initiating on that Shadow Fiend, he's not taking the risk. He doesn't need a BKB. He just needs double Requiem to really win out these fights.
Kanomi getting the charge cancelled despite Carapace, gets his own Yule Scepter off. Onto Yamich. Doesn't have the impel to throw it any longer though. So Yamich still safe to walk out. See what BetBoom can do with his 4 minutes on the Aegis plus a 14k net worth lead. No reason they can't think about approaching high ground, but they'll go for the Tormentor first. Nice free objective.
Doesn't take long. Free shard up for Kiritich as well. So Aphotic Shield with a return damage now on top of things. More nuisances to be mildly concerned about on the side of MOUZ. For MOUZ, and what do we have fresh? You're almost at the Ags timing for Crystallis, so he will have a Dispel on hand to play with, offensively and defensively. You're working towards the Shivas for Boom. Very useful, of course, against Sustain that are also looking at from Kiritich, if you can find the space to complete that farm. And mid one is offsetting the minus armor with his own Assault Cuirass. So you are coming up with solutions on MOUZ. It's just a matter of, again, stemming the tide, mitigating losses.
Naomi on the chase with the Vendetta. Jump in, impale, it landed on 2. Mid one and Boom both being caught in that, but they're still okay. Miero not close enough to follow up. GPK keeping up vision. Miero misses just barely with the crush. BetBoom, they'd love a pick-off or 2 before they try for this tier 2 bottom into the high ground. But nevertheless, I mean, they've got Aegis, they've got the Roshan banner. There's still no reason for them not to try this.
No. I mean, they're in a very secure spot. The threats are somewhat there on MOUZ, but not fully set. It does feel like until this Shivas is up, you're very comfy on Kiritich. The Yules could be annoying. It is only the one Yules you have to worry about, though. So as long as he's very safe with borrowed time, it shouldn't be a massive concern for Kiritich. Got the Blink Dagger up on save as well, so he can get some good positions for the Ice Pat and Macro Pyre. Kiritich is jumping into the upheaval. That is a big annoyance from Kaori at the least.
I mean, it certainly is, but it's going to wear off. Spike Carapace will cancel it. Ice Path, mid one. Walks into it for a moment. They'll drop the Macro Pyre right off the bat. Kiritich, he'll be on the high ground on his own with his Roshan banner. Is now the jump in! Everybody just coordinating right off to mid one. Arena down, 2-man stun is out from Boom. But without mid one, they've got to rely on Crystallis to try and get all this damage off. And Crystallis, he can't do it right away. Miero still dropping low though, might go down. Crystallis will take down one of them. Now the borrowed time committed, Kiritich forced the blink away. GPK though moving back in. Karaomi, he'll find a stun onto Boom. BetBoom still being a little bit cautious here. It's Crystallis now getting jumped by Kiritich. Kiritich will retreat back towards Yamich. They'll go Yamich, dropping low, but the spear will save. In fact, no. GPK does secure the life of Yamich. The bottom racks still not going to be quite safe. Crystallis will move back in. He still has the battle trance, but he might get blown up.
Oh, no.
He's down. No saving him from that. 70 seconds without buyback on Crystallis. But BetBoom, no, they're going.
I mean, why not?
They want to see the buyback.
They still have Aegis up. They've got borrowed time back off cooldown. That's how long these fights are taking. the damage, it's just not there. For MOUZ, it needs to be perfect. These chains have to be perfect. The Golem dropped the arena, and it's so difficult to see these opportunities coming out from BetBoom. They've just played really clean. I know what you can do to stop it. Outside of a perfect fight, it's hard.
Well, there's a spear back. Problem is, Boom's the one to get jumped. Kiritich never in danger. Jump in on Carry in mid one. They're going to run towards the fountain. Kiritich, how brave are you, sir? Not brave enough without the borrowed time.
No. I mean, he has Aegis, but yeah, 50 seconds still borrowed time. You'll hold back. You got value. You know, at the least, there's buyback with Arena here. 2 sets of racks down. You're not going to go for a third any longer on the side of BetBoom, as you have really pretty much expended your Aegis. So there is some breathing room here for the side of MOUZ. But again, it's just so hard to see how they have to take these fights. If it's not going to be a solo pick-off on someone being led astray, again, it has to be good area denial with Arena, really good Fatal Bonds coming out here with a Chaotic Offering, and hoping that the damage coming in from Crystallis will be enough to kind of sustain through, kind of get you those softer targets. It's just so much you have to work against. Right? You have to go through the borrowed time, you have to get that yields up, buy some time first. You have to ensure that GPK doesn't find this angle in for the Requiem, which he's been very good at finding. He'll try to hunt with the smoke, but Kataomi's always there to break this.
Absolutely is. Kataomi will already break the smoke of mid one. Yamich, he'll dust up Kataomi, but he's got plenty of help. They're all in the dire triangle, just holding the high ground. And boom, he's going to find out the hard way. He blinked up to the high ground. He'll drop the arena. Kiritich will jump into the arena, trying to take down the MOUZ. They do at least find the next assassin, but the buyback's going to be those. Kiritich dropping low, has to get the borrowed time off. Meanwhile, Yamich does die. Chrysalis still with the battle trance to play with. Pops his BKB. Chases back towards Kiritich. They'll drop the Golem. He has no borrowed time, but the Requiem will protect Kiritich. GPK not allowing it. Cowrie on the run. Meanwhile, Chrysalis jumping back in with the battle trance. He's on to the next assassin, but there's just so many Yule Scepters holding him up.
Oh no.
It's got to be over. There's no buybacks, and they call it. GG.
Just a rough time for the side of MOUZ. I think coming out with his Husker early on, I mean, this is something that they love. You know, this is something that mid one has performed well on, but with all the options available here for BetBoom, just way too many ways, way too many things to counteract. I think this ABBA pick was just perfection coming out from BetBoom, and the aggression they...
Game 3.
Okay, let's see if they can do it. I know there's someone though that really just wants to take this a win, and that is Coach Armen.
Armen here from BetBoom. How are you doing?
Feeling pretty good, brother. How about you?
Feeling pretty confident for your draft after that one. You guys got a lot of the things you typically like to get. You know, we're seeing the Slardar Juggernaut coming out again. We're seeing... All right, I'm going to ask you, because I don't want to ask the other coach here, but thoughts on this last pick troll?
We kind of saw it coming, again, because I think it's their best answer they have to our starter, but they had it in game 1 as well, and we found a way to make the starter work. So I think we feel very confident with our draft that we got.
A humble man. We found a way to make it work after that.
Miro found a way to make it work.
Okay, even more humble man, where I was just going to say you spanked them. But that's okay. We're not going to talk about that too much. What could go wrong? I know that's what you're always thinking of as a coach. You see the team, you say, okay, my job is done. It's the perfect draft. Good luck to you noobs. And then they go out there. What could they do wrong in this draft, in your opinion?
I mean, I think the only opening I see for them is if they... destroy GPK on mid with Pudge, if they get some good rotations onto mid, which I think they might think about, and if bottom lane goes not in our favor. So if we end up losing like 2 lanes too hard, this game might be troublesome.
What if Kiritich died? Would that be bad?
Of course.
Well, unfortunate. Let's go to our casters there and see how this one shakes out.
Yes, thank you very much. Like, it is certainly very unfortunate, as they have already found first blood onto Kiritich. And first blood of all things will go to mid one on the mid quap. So we are seeing even more action breaking out. Yamich just trying to really be quite cheeky here with the Pudge. Won't throw a hook out. We'll just leave him be, go back to the laning stage. But well, as I was saying, John, mid one. First blood handed over on the quap. Obviously, he had a really challenging game for himself in the Husker game 1. And game 2 doesn't necessarily look much easier because he's laning against the GPK Viper.
Yeah, it's not going to be too fun. I think we've seen our Vipers start to adjust for a 2-2-1 build, so you're not going to expect a very passive lane where another Toxin gets thrown down. There will be the poison attack from GPK later on, I will assume, and that just makes the lane a little bit annoying for mid one. He can kind of try to sustain back with a spell damage return on Bondage, but it's not going to be much. GPK is still going to be happier off, and you can't poke him back either with, say, a Shadow Strike later on as, well, you've got that Caustic Bat. The Magic Res is going to be nice for GPK. We'll see if they can manage to get things working. The big thing is rotations later on. So far down bot, Crystallis is having himself a much better start on this Troll. Miaro being pressured out quite hard here on the Slardar, and it's been a little bit touch and go, of course, in this lane with all of the sustain coming out from Kauri. It is harder for the Slardar to kind of try to leverage that start, the strength of the hero in sustain. You're not at mid either, so you're not allowed to just soak up. Up top, Yamich is getting some decent melee range hooks, trying to harass out save, but the healing ward is there, and this is also going to be one big nuisance here for the side of MOUZ. Like, you can't really easily snipe.
Harry. Let's get the Shadow Word off onto Kataomi, and even the creep that would still following for on Kataomi. He's going to be okay. Stick charges up, we'll make it out. Salves up as well. But it is not an easy lane, and this is what the panel talked about. Even if the Troll does feel a little bit baity, what did Lacoste call it? Throw Warlord?
Throw Warlord, yeah.
Yeah. It is a very hard lane for Miero on this slot against the Troll.
Yeah, it's a rough time, but they are just getting the pulse. Kataomi was ready with a salve. As mentioned, to just drag the creep wave away. So you're going to get that safe EXP away from this Troll anyhow. And for Crystallis, he is maximizing this lane. Just getting the pulse as well, clearing out the camps, getting the help from the creeps, getting those last hits, and is happy enough to play a farming lane. So you're getting that strong start you'd want here on the Troll. You are getting some good hooks again up top.
Very nice hook on to save, but the dead shot and the healing ward going to make life a little bit challenging. At least Boom does secure the healing ward, but now the turnaround from Kiritich with the spin and the calling. But Boom, not going to be too in danger. Still has the double shield crash. He will return the favor back towards the way of BetBoom. So far, everything going pretty swimmingly for both sides. Not too much pressure being applied. It seems like MOUZ already off to a better laning start, I would argue.
That they are. I'm a bit surprised GPK has opted for a 0-2-2 build at 4. We are seeing him hit that jungle, get that scaling up onto Viper, but he's not really applying pressure onto mid one. So our Quap is having game, feeling very happy, able to go for the Scream of Pain build with a blink. No points in that Shadow Strike, just looking to clear out the waves, keep that farm game going as well. So you're able to keep parity on the Quap. In fact, you might have a better time because you don't have to abandon the lane. And for the side of MOUZ, I mean, all their cores are up on CS. They've managed to really maximize this laning start. So they should be able to get a lot more into the mid game. This is a little bit of a different story from that game 1 where it felt like BetBoom were just kind of crushing it very early on and just never let go of the throttle. You have some foundations to play with here because, frankly, your draft is a little bit more passive. GPK is not on a hyper-active hero with this kind of build. On the Viper, you're going to sit back, you're going to have to farm. There's some punishment for the pulse from Kataomi. Not quite enough to kill him off, but he is getting that spacing for Miero to actually soak his EXP. Our Slaughter is severely behind, though. 9-0 in terms of CS. Yeah, you're soaking up, but boy, are you lacking in farm here for BetBoom's offlane.
That you are. Nothing Miero can really do about it, though. Save, dead shot, but they still have the hook to play with, and Yamich right on target. Yamich so far, a lot of impact when it comes to this pudge. Kataomi once again in this similar position up against Kauri. This time, has a healing ward, has a Fairy Fire, does commit the Fairy Fire first. Nice little shards to block the way. Kauri does not seem to want to give up on this chase. But Kataomi just creating a bit too much space by himself in this task. Going to be just fine to survive.
Yeah. Just get back, maybe even pull the next wave. Miero is here to take the double sacking fact. Kauri.
You're jumping in again. Now Kauri going to be in danger, but a nice hook from Yamich. Catching Miero. Miero, they're going to turn around. Yamich, he might have wanted Kauri instead. They're going to try and juggle around and just kite Miero. Kauri, trying not to die, is going to go down. but may end up trading his own life away. And he does. Yamich able to secure on the punch.
Yeah, they're finding all of these openings on MOUZ, punishing some of the, the tricks you have to do here on the side of BetBoom to salvage that slaughter lane. It's still been a rough time for Miero. It's still not finding CS, dying now as well. It's been a free ride for Crystallis to get into the Battle Fury. Your mid's been really passive, as mentioned, for GPK. 0-3-2 build into that level 6. So, again, you're not expecting that much laning pressure, that much early pressure here from GPK. They're aligning for a top move, though, onto Boom.
Certainly going to find it too. Viper Strike, of course, going to be landing, and Kiritich very happy with a quick kill on the Jug. Boom. Nothing he can really do about it. It's like the group up is going to be down a bot lane for MOUZ. Hook, not on the mark this time. Trying to catch Miero, but not quite there for Yamich.
Yeah. They are set up nicely for these Shrines of Wisdom, though. Could look for the invasion. Miero is just such a low level, matching Yamich's level on that Pudge. And they will send in Kataomi again. Maybe try to force him. This is a 3-on-2, though.
They really want that Shrine of Wisdom right now. Yamich, he's not going to give up on it. They'll drop the calling. Big stun out. Yamich hooking Crystallis into this fight. The Shrine of Wisdom still being contested, but Crystallis now completely surrounded. Does not have a battle trance to throw out. He's still level 5. And that's massive for BetBoom.
Yeah, they get 2 kills to get the positioning out. Oh,
Gets a Sonic Wave at least mid one. Taking on Kataomi. But forced to immediately TPs, he cannot deal with the Viper.
No. Still, nice kills being picked up here by the side of BetBoom. Crystallis being on a spot that he really doesn't want to have to contest in, and Save being at the right spot, of course, just setting up earlier on does provide this avenue for BetBoom to get some punishment going. They free up a lot of room for Kiritich up top. He's feeling just fine on the Jug as well, getting that farm into his own Battle Fury. In fact, despite the free lane for Crystallis, Kiritich is still ahead in terms of net worth, which is mildly concerning for the side of MOUZ. This Jug, once it gets the farm game going with that Battle Fury, we've seen it already in an earlier series, just how much this hero can do. And I like this build. Yeah, it's very standard out from GPK. Atos, maybe the Gleipnir as well. Have that extra hold for your team. Key timing for MOUZ really is Miero's Blink. Again, for the Slaughter, it's a little bit of a recovery process, but once you've got that Blink up, you have the initiation. Should align with level 6 as well. At least, maybe even level 7, considering the pacing here. But again, it just leads into these opportunities. For MOUZ, like you mentioned, Yamich has done a great job with hooks. He has a lot of output as well. Has to be a bit cautious here.
GPK going to move in. No real fear for the Viper as he does move on to Yamich, but they do have the healing ward. Compliments of Kaori. Sure, Yamich not going to end up dying here to this Viper. Meanwhile, Boom. Not sure who he was quite hunting down, but might have just been rolling away from the Jug. Mid one, he's not backed off from this mid-tier 1 tower. He's just going to continue applying pressure while he can. Meanwhile, BetBoom. Kiritich and Save. Going after that top tier 1 tower. Boom sticking around, but he's very low on HP. No Rolling Thunder left to really abuse in this instance, so has to watch the tier 1 top go down. And Kiritich suddenly will find himself top of the net worth board prior to even the Battle Fury.
Yeah, and that's just, again, set to escalate. This timing for the Battle Fury on our Jug, not too shabby. Crystallis is a full 1k behind after, again, having a relatively free lane outside of these pulls. So, BetBoom have done a great job of mitigating some of this early aggression that MOUZ has been looking to leverage, in fact.
Trying to move on to mid one. The calling silence is there. However, they will be able to get him out just barely. Mid one, avoiding the Omni Slash. Kiritich at least will pick up Kaori. It's Miero. He'll be on to Yamich. Yamich can't get out either. Save will take his life away. The support duo giving themselves up to ensure mid one can find a way out.
And he does manage to bail out. It is costly. At the least, you don't get to drop that Chaotic Offering. I think that might have not amounted to as much as you'd expect here for MOUZ, unless the TP commits were there. So you hang on to Chaotic Offering here on Kaori. You can look for a re-engage. You can actually start to look for some really good fights. Have the level 2 Fatal Bonds as well. A little bit of a smoke on smoke.
Jump in, run of Atos out onto Boom. Golem drop is there, but Boom still silenced up by this calling. It's just so hard for him to get that Rolling Thunder off. At least the Sonic Wave will allow them to pick up the life of Kataomi, but certainly a great trade again from BetBoom. Now mid one, gonna be chased down. Rodovatos to lock him down, but a nice hook from Yamich. Not allowing the Slithering Crush to connect onto mid one.
Yep. Stalls for some time. Chaotic offering now being down does mean BetBoom doesn't really have that many concerns. The one thing you are getting out here for MOUZ, free space for Crystallis to try to close that gap on our troll. Slowly edging his way back up in net worth. However, this timing set on Kiritich is it's still gonna skyrocket. Like, his Battle Fury's flying out now. The Atos has been doing some work on GPK. Love the Travels build-up as well. Just pretty much what we've been seeing from the Vipers this tournament. But allows him to make responses on the map and kind of compensates for that lower move speed as well on our Viper. The blink for Miaro still ways off, although.
Mid one again will be targeted. Still able to blink out. Relevatos not going to lock him down quite long enough. They did not have the Walrus Punch up yet to try and really lock mid one down. Mid one narrowly avoiding death once again. BetBoom, they look like they'll just connect down towards the bottom instead. MOUZ, they'll hang out by their triangle. There's your Battle Fury now up as well on Kiritich, so the Jug farm, not going to be too slow. But he's already at the top of the net worth, so it's going to be happy days right now for BetBoom, just seeing their Jug climb much faster.
And it is the one thing for MOUZ coming out here. Again, with that little siege on the mid, with a consistent poke damage they've done, their triangle has been very secure and they've had more stacks. Don't think we've seen as much emphasis from BetBoom for that recovery flash farm. So again, that's one resource MOUZ has been utilizing quite well. Mid one.
Aggressive blink in. Yarrow, though, not seeing anything to do here. Will just TP out. Kataomi still going to be chased by mid one. Mid one with this haste rune, feeling very confident. Has the Sonic Wave to play with. He wants shards to block the way. Mid one still not giving up. Sonic Wave committed, and Kataomi eventually shall fall.
Yeah, in contrast, Kaori does manage to run away from that chase. That save and GPK have been getting done. So you get a freebie kill. You're happy enough. You know, mid one starting to escalate now on this Quap. Has the Blade Mail looking to get into the Kaya. And once that Kaya is up, you know, the output of the Quap does significantly skyrocket. It becomes a little bit tougher to just hope to kill him off. There is the threat of turnaround quite cleanly here for mid one. Again, there's a little bit of a control issue as well. Like, until this blink is up here on Miero, just doesn't feel like you'll be able to catch the Quap quick enough. Get the chain control, even with the calling up. A little bit of a sneaky move out for the Shrine of Wisdom. MOUZ looks like they might be able to find all of it, as they'll take that right side. Kataomi is set on the left side as well. There's no one there to pick that up. So 1-for-1 once more. Hook not quite connecting. Still looking to force stuff though.
And saving this tree line eventually. Save. Has the Pierce the Veil if he needs it. He will eventually end up using it. Miro there to back him up. GPK also to show up. Damage. Gonna melt to the damage apple, but here comes Crystallis from the side. Rolling Thunder out from Boom as well. They find two of them. Miro the only survivor. So much damage available to MOUZ right now. They're more than happy to force these fights against BetBoom.
And they get a really good Fatal Bonds out this time. That was something missing in game one. Don't feel like they could really utilize that amplification, shared damage coming in. A little bit of a chase on Kataomi, but at least with a Walrus Punch up, he's a lot harder to pin down. We'll run off. 8-8. 2K lead coming out for MOUZ. A much more even game two, and a really strong start for MOUZ. And they've got a better time on mid one. He actually has a game to play. Crystallis has his Battle Fury. He's managed to really slow Miero's pace down, as our Slaughter is a full 2 levels behind the Troll and still lacking that blink 15 minutes in. We'll eventually find it, but you're just being held back from that lack of initiation.
No ball there. Boom. Will be chased by Kataomi. Save with the death shot to drag him back, and the calling again. Making it so hard to find a way out for Boom. Able to get a nice little pick up for themselves now onto that Pangolier. 8-9, slight net worth lead for MOUZ. And the Jug still by far at the top of the net worth board. But it seems like BetBoom is still in a great, MOUZ still in a great position in this game number 2.
Yeah, again, free farm space for Crystallis this time around. You don't have to worry about playing into healing reduction. So you're able to just stand your ground. You can hope that your battle trance actually sustains for a secondary life quite nicely. You get this blink timing flying out for Yamich. So our Pudge can now just blink initiate for the team. It's just pretty rough for Miero that the blink timing of Yamich is at the same time our Slardar blink comes in. I mean, Miero is still higher net worth, but just the fact that the timings are so stalled out, you're matching a pause for Pudge, that's telling you the state of the offlane at the very least for the side of BetBoom. Keen on seeing what other itemization we start to get. GPKs working onto the Ags for the Viper. So you will have that nice little nosedive. More nether toxins to fly out. The attack speed slow could be a pretty big nuisance for Crystallis. Mind you, can overcome it with Fervor, but getting your initial attack slowed down is not a particularly good feeling. They are going out for the smoke.
Yeah, nice little blink in from Yamich. Karaomi could only snowball to try and get away. Karaomi still going to die to mid one. He's having a very good game, by the way, on the Quap. 6-0-1. Unstoppable now, mid one. A perfect game thus far. Probably just very glad he's not on the Husker, John.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Jump in. Boom. Again being caught. Kiritich will pop the Omni Slash just to ensure they can burst him down quickly.
Pretty clean kill. You take that trade. Support for the offlane. And both offlanes in this game just has not really had a good time. Boom and Miero are just suffering so far. A smoke out, BetBoom. Interesting timing to get this done without the Omni, but they realize they've left Crystallis alone for quite a fair bit. Lines drawn down bot. There's a ward to at least watch the gate being used, so if someone bothered to look into this area, they'd see the gate channel animation for the side of BetBoom. We'll see if they can get that reach out. It is a little bit of a stretch without the Omni early on. The damage, I mean, it's somewhat there, but it's not the cleanest in the world. Maybe onto mid instead.
Bin, mid one. They found the big target. Mid one though, actually tanking through with the blade mail, but not for too much longer. Miero will take his life away, and it's just worth so much gold for the Slardar. It's about 1k gold going his way. That'll be the first death for mid one.
That's a big opening they were looking for, and they bait out Chaotic Offering as well. That's going to hold back some of that counterfight initiation from the side of MOUZ. And for BetBoom, you couldn't ask for a better target. Really great smoke break out from Karaomi. And I'd say save that one with a dead shot. Like perfect calling position, perfect dead shot to get the rechain into the silence. MOUZ trying to utilize this into Roshan. Crystallis is getting some work done onto the objective along with Chaotic Offering. Golem doesn't quite look like BetBoom have read this, so a freebie Roche for Crystallis is going to be quite impactful, at least early on here. Maybe onto mid one, not too bad either, but nah. Crystallis will take it, nice and secure. And again, it keeps the game even. You find these big kills, but you're finding the objectives as well on MOUZ. Your threat onto the Troll isn't as high, and none of these heroes naturally want to really buy Yules outside of save.
Miero, this is the initial stun. We'll still move on to the Troll Warlord. Hawk though from Yamich. Complete disengage, and now the re-engage. Miero immediately dropped. They want more though, MOUZ on the chase now. Mid one, he'll frontline, they'll jump on a GPK. The Troll Warlord jumping right in. Chrysalis, he'll get the battle trench just in the nick of time, taking the whole Omni Slash. Boom jumps in as well. GPK is gone. Kiritich to boot. It's a full team wipe.
And they managed to find the Aegis at the least. Very small compensation for BetBoom. And for BetBoom, this all just stems to the... I mean, it's all coming from MOUZ playing really nicely with his Pudge. Yamich is just maximizing the save potential. You only have single target control coming in here from the side of BetBoom. Like, you don't have that same area hold. You have to rely on your Slardar to get the crush. They split that fight off perfectly. And again, that initial stall with a hook just ensures you're not able to easily clean up after that Aegis and try to look for the follow-through. You're stuck in such an awkward spot. You have that farm in Kiritich, but you're not at the point where the Jug can just rip everyone to shreds. You don't have the attack speed to sustain the Omni. and you just don't have enough in the tank. Great plays out from the side of MOUZ. BetBoom not dissuaded. They are smoked up once more. Maybe onto Boom.
Boom. Chase. Nice flick away from Boom. Yarrow not able to have the sniper. Gets the bash to the deeps. Boom. He's going to survive for now. Chrysalis, he's going to show up as well, and so will mid one. Yarrow, he's just going to try and TP away from this scenario. Does get out of there. Kataomi cannot do the same. An even save caught by Yamich. And Yamich, very impactful on this pos 4 Pudge.
Yeah, he's been a menace just from the laning stage into all of these saves he's had with a meat hook. Just providing some avenues for the side of MOUZ to get things going. BetBoom, this lineup needs more time. Right? You're severely underfarmed still on Miero, bottom network core. GPK as well has lagged behind from these past few engagements. And I will say this, mid one's been having a fantastic game.
Yarrow? And he's all right. Yamich not going to be really feeling like jumping in onto the slider. The MOUZ, they've found themselves with an 11k advantage now, and when you're this far ahead, the troll, it doesn't feel quite as bad. I'll tell you that.
No. It feels like a lot of this stems from this choice of GPK to just play the farm game. I mean, Viper up against Quap might not be the most dominant if you go for like a 2-2-1 build, but you allow mid one to actually have a game. He matches you in farm pace with his own Scream of Pain build. And again, he's been a menace on the map. It's been hard to control mid one. His first death took a lot of work out from the side of BetBoom as well. And he has been that foundational aggression for the side of MOUZ. In comparison to Game 1, where he really couldn't get much done, mid one's putting in a lot of work this time around. Another smoke out, MOUZ. And they're starting to set that pressure up onto the top tier too. BetBoom just kind of needs to sit back and farm. Kirtich trying to rush for the butterflies. They catch save.
They do catch save. Yamich in with the dust. The blood grenade from Kauri will be enough to secure the life of save. And MOUZ, I do not believe, want to play this too slowly. They'll take a top tier 2 tower right into the mid tier 2 tower for mid one. Cleaning up the objectives across the map. And BetBoom nowhere near this mid tier 2 to try and defend. They're just not feeling it right now. They understand the fight's absolutely not going their way whatsoever.
No.
Mid one himself will push the tier 3 tower just a little bit.
Yep. A little poking and prodding before backdoor kicks in. And get some cheap chip damage early on. For BetBoom, I mean, this has to be a waiting game. There's a severe lack of team fight. Their single target control is nice, but their area control is very soft as Yarrow.
I mean, Yamich is just setting up on everyone. Yarrow, all he can do is try to fight back, but even the creeps are against him. His own people, John. The fishmen.
Fishmen just don't like him. Doesn't belong to that part of the waters. And MOUZ have been punishing well. Again, they've just managed to break apart BetBoom's early tempo. They're having to sit back and play the farm game. You're comfy enough in that position for MOUZ to scale up as well. I love the response out from Crystalis already going for the MKB, knowing that, or seeing that Kirtich is just rushing the butterfly. Has a way to pierce through the evasion. And for this pick-off game that you're looking for on BetBoom, they've not really found it in a while. In fact, they haven't really tried anymore with GPK plus Miara together with Save. It's just been harder and harder. Like, MOUZ are not splitting apart. They're playing together as a team. And they're utilizing all their teamfight control spells really nice.
Oh, I love these hooks from Yamich. He's so patient with it too. Just bides his time. Nice little hook. Mid one will claim the kill onto save. And I'll be honest, I was kind of a little bit concerned when I saw the Pudge pickup. It's a poor Pudge in a game like this when you're in an elimination round, but Yamich proving he knows what he's doing.
And he does. And for BetBoom, he's just been an absolute menace. There's no way to stop the allied hooks as well.
There's just no
more.
There's nowhere safe right now from this guy.
Nice sneaky ward right in that cliff spot. Not the easiest to de-ward as well. Watching Roshan can start to set up for the next Rosh as well, which will be a topside Rosh, more than likely. And again, for BetBoom, you're just banking on Kirtich now. You're banking on that butterfly jug to have enough in the tank with Omni Slash to kill everyone off, it's just difficult to see. This time for Jug into Troll, if Troll manages to pop Battle Trance, it's pretty awful for Jug, depending on whether or not you have Omni as well. It's down to really good ult usage. Again, team fights are just easier to play. If you are on MOUZ, you've got the Rolling Thunder, Sonic Wave pushback, Chaotic Offering down with Fatal Bonds.
Jump in, Kiritich trying to fight. Looks like he's out of gas already. Sonic Wave from mid one, landing on two of them. Boom still chasing. Kiritich needs some help, but the help's not coming. He's down without buyback. Jump in on Chrysalis, but where's your damage gonna come from? Whoopsie daisies. Quick little hook out from mid one. With the tier 3 tower. Will be the target for MOUZ. They've got 45 seconds to not have to worry about this Jug. Deny from Miero. Stun in, Golem drop, Miero might pay for this one. GPK, he'll nosedive in, but the Battle Trance committed. Miero's down, so is GPK, and it seems as though Kataomi's not going to be too lucky either. He's down a boot. 4 down now for BetBoom. And MOUZ single-handedly trying to raise the win rate of this Troll Warlord.
I mean, they're raising it up. It doesn't look easy for BetBoom, even on shorter respawns, to really stop the onslaught. They just need so much more time. This butterfly coming out here for Kiritich, it's going to be up soon, even after respawn, but it's just not enough on its own. Swift Flash has to be there. It almost feels like you want a BKB on Jug just to ensure you'll always get Omni slash off, because the roll, Boom's been so on point with his positioning. They'll take a secondary set of racks. They show respect for the respawns. They're not going to force the issue too hard. But they have a Roshan in around half a minute here. They can go for on the side of MOUZ. For BetBoom, you just have to be so careful. Like, Kiritich cannot afford to come in like that. He can't afford to just get chain stunned and not Omni. That's what you're banking on now for damage. And there is still a ton of damage here on the Jug. It might actually be a better investment to skip the Ags and go for a Blink at this rate, just to ensure you can kind of go in, Omni, spin afterwards, and hope for the best in that slash. But we'll have to see. Kiritich is still set on the Aghanim's. Butterfly flying in. So some major spikes. It's just everyone else is lagging behind here on the side of BetBoom. It's only Kiritich having a good game.
Yeah, it's a very tough game for the Jug as well. Like, because you've got one Omni and that's all she wrote after that. You've got no gameplay once the Omni is gone right now. He'll at least have a butterfly up, so there is a bit more survivability for Kiritich. And MOUZ, they don't really care. They haven't seen it. They'll go for a 5-man smoke. In fact, it's a smoke on smoke between these two sides. They'll wrap around each other. They do end up spotting out this Warlock. Carry's gone. Boom is also gone. Kiritich blew up 2 of them with the Omni. Mid one, he's also going to go down. But Chrysalis, he's still moving forward. He'll do it his darn self. Battle Trance out. Miero's gone. Everyone trying to kite out the Troll Warlord. GPK, he's trapped in the tree line. He'll drop to boot. Kiritich, though, he's on a triple kill, but now Save's in trouble. Chrysalis, triple kill for him. He has to man fight. Kiritich, Kiritich can't do it. Ultra kill for Chrysalis. Where's the rampage? He can't close the gap.
Not quite, but you're seeing the threat of this Troll without anything like a Yules. He's allowed to just actually have impact on Battle Trance. He does get a secondary life out. You do get the buyback out from Yamich.
Oh, hold on. Yamich. A setup, he'll find it. Kataomi, too late for a rampage, but Chrysalis now godlike on the Troll Warlord. Full team wipe against BetBoom. They've all got buyback. None of them want to commit it. They'll just wait it out. In fact, never mind, here we go. Buybacks are committed. Miero trying to start the fight. They still had the Golem from Kauri to try and disengage. Snowball will follow Chrysalis. Yamich will just block the way, dismember out onto Miero, not allowing anyone to follow his carries. They're all just stuck in the upheaval right now. GPK, he's going to go down. Chrysalis, though, he likes what he sees. He's got Battle Trance up once again. They'll snowball towards him. Counter snowball, and now boom, and mid one. The Sonic Wave, ripping them a new one. Save, left behind, hands up, wave him goodbye. And that'll, surely, that'll be Megas.
die back in GPK. Omni Slash still down for a few more seconds, but it'll be back up. The question now is, how do you find this angle?
They've still got Battle Trance. Christmas, he's going to pop it through this Omni, just doing no damage here to the Troll Warlord. Keratic just trying to spin back to the fountain. He just wants to go home, and he'll get there just barely. But they're onto the tier 4 towers now. Save will get chased down. Save is gone. GG is called. They've seen enough. They know they can't defend. And MOUZ, they will drag us out to a game number 3.
Yeah, it's just wild. They insist on this troll. They make it work. This time around, Miero's lane was just ultra weak. There was no impact coming out from her Slardar. Blink timing lined up with Yamich's Pudge, which was
Not what, let's say, the majority thinks, so we're just doing our own thing.
All right, I can see you did your research. According to our panel, BetBoom has not won against the Jakiro yet. You guys are going to be first picking that. So was that something you were aware of and think it might be a weakness of the team?
No, we just didn't want to deal with Jakiro in the draft, and then our Jakiro is also pretty good.
Sure.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. They have a lot of, good single-target melee, strong, big damage heroes, but do you think that they have enough control to deal with something like a Storm Spirit?
I mean, if Storm Spirit gets a good game, if we're just playing our own side of the map, it can go good for us. If they are outnumbering us and, let's say, snowballing through kills, it can go bad.
There's a theory going that the Doom has too many good targets here. What do you think about that last pick Doom? How would you respond to that?
I mean, we knew that they're going to pick Doom. It was between Doom and Viper. We don't think he's going to have a good lane. So if he's going to have a good lane, it's going to be pretty shit.
Well, I hope it doesn't get pretty shit. Thank you so much for your time. Best of luck in this Game 3 elimination match as we go to our casters.
Thank you very much, Slacks. Indeed, we have game number 3 between BetBoom and MOUZ. And in case you weren't watching, First Blood has already been drawn. GPK able to get First Blood for himself on the mid slider to get BetBoom's game started.
a good start for GPK. It's going to be a little bit rougher in that mid matchup, so he's going to take whatever he can early on. As mid one's on Storm, it's a melee versus range matchup for Storm. He's going to be happy enough. He's got a lot of poking and prodding with a static slide as well. And you can actually think about double overload here if you'd want on mid one. Although chances are you're happy enough to just go for the standard static remnant overload and kind of leave Vortex alone until later on. You are managing to, still find some farm GPK, but the harassment from mid one is overwhelming. Let's see if they can maintain that, or if he can maintain that later on. A lot of talk as well about Miero up top on his Doom. You and I, Mike, we've casted Miero for a few years now. This is the one hero I think of when I think of Miero, right? His Doom has been amazing throughout like 3-4 years now. And he knows what to do with the hero, and he knows what timings to look for, even in rough lane matchups. I mean, look at this. He just pulls the creep wave all the way back. He's managing to get that farm. And, as long as he doesn't walk to the Jakiro in lane, you're a happy Doom. So you're soaking up farm, you're soaking up EXP, and you get what you want here from Miero. You just get that safety net while the other side is quite strong. Still a lot of poking and prodding mid. And one is out of mana at least. Water Runes will go 1 for 1. No denies coming out. And GPK again has that innate regen on hand to at least stay safe. The last lane down bot. Some aggression onto Boom. Not a fun lane for Tidehunter. Anchor Smash is good, but the rundown potential with Overpower and Fury Pipes is a pretty big threat. And that does lead to a bit of a rougher start there for Boom. Also forced to pull back and stack the wave.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're seeing Save go for those pulls from Miero. This is where things can get rather challenging. Carry now level 2, and he blocks himself in. Blood Grenade's going to land. That's very unfortunate for Save. He's still going to run up the river, though. Still okay. He'll stack the creep wave, I do believe. Maybe just find a TP point out for himself.
Yep. Saw the same kind of chase happening down bot. Yamich looking for some punishment onto Kataomi. Doesn't manage to really clean up. So both sides kind of looking for lane shenanigans to keep themselves in the game. As last time around we saw both offlanes have a really rough start. Except Boom did manage to work that Pangolier a lot better. This time Miero does, again, have the safety net of Devil's Bargain. And should still be able to farm up. I mean, the wave is going to be stacked up. It's going to be a lot of farm coming in. But every time you have to actually walk into the lane here for Miero, it's not going to feel good. Kaori's around, level 2. Has the dual breath, has that Liquid Frost, Liquid Fire. Certainly consider a rundown if they'd want. Damage quite speedy on that jar. In fact, a little bit surprising, he went for secondary strikes and still jump top.
They will. Save's going to be around. Miero close enough to his tier 1 tower where they won't be willing to dive too far. Because you heard Immortal Faith say it in that interview. Miero, if he has a good lane, they're probably in trouble on the side of MOUZ. So far, though, he's stuck at 5-3 in terms of CS. Certainly not what you would consider a good lane for Miero. But the fact that he hasn't died yet and he's still alive, I'd say is a bit of a win, as Chrysalis is trying his absolute best to just keep him forced out. The sad thing for Miero, of course, as the levels do come up, it just gets worse and worse for this off lane of BetBoom.
Yeah, there's no relief here anytime soon for Miero. He can at least, you know, gun for, say, the Midas. It looks like he's going for the Dominator first and kind of just get that farm game later. But the damage is really just overwhelming top. Lots of DOTs, lots of slows. No way for Miero to gap close and try to even pressure with Infernal Blade. He might be wishing he got Devour instead to at least find some farm. Crystal is just having the kind of perfect start that you'd hope for on the Huskers safe lane. For the side of MOUZ, I mean, everything is just kind of panning out well. Crystal is having a fun time. Boom is having a better time than at least Miero. And the mid lane for mid one has been pretty smooth. GPK not fully bullied out, but mid one has managed to eke out the advantage in that lane. He's going to have himself a smooth right into the 6.
Bottom lane. Snowball going to be out towards Cowrie. Cowrie should die here. The shards will block him in. Boom. He's still going for the fight, but Kiritich, of course, is more than happy to oblige. They'll take down Boom. Yamich trying to barely get out for the tag team. Gonna make it impossible. And that's a double kill for Kiritich on the Ursa to make matters worse.
Yeah, not the kills that you want to be giving out. I am, again, a little bit surprised as to the fastest choices coming out here on MOUZ. Secondary strikes on Gyrocopter support, not something you see too often. It's almost always Afterburner for that support gyro for the movement speed. Some collapsing done on mid, trying to pressure out GPK, at least away from the power rune. So mid one should have easy access to this rune with both supports committing. Does leave the side lanes a little bit exposed if they'd want to try to make a play. But it is a Tidehunter and might be just a little bit too slow for even Kiritich to clean up. Haste rune for mid one. Gonna be pleased with himself if he'd want to start to get some action across the map. We are still seeing again. Oh, movement into bot.
They try to hunt down with mid one. He's got the haste rune active. Level 6 up as well. Kiritich can't do much but hope that his teammates will save him. But there's no teammates around to help out. So great rotation now from mid one.
Yeah. Pans out, and again, really good use of that early power rune for mid one.
Dave. Also in a spot of danger now. Mid one, a little bit more mana to play with. GPK perfectly fine to walk away from Yamich. Because Shrines of Wisdom also spawning up rather soon, but it doesn't seem like we're going to see a big fight to try and contest the Shrines. It seems like either side will just accept their own Shrine of Wisdom in this game number 3.
Yeah, no shenanigans around them, and at 10, it's a very even state. I think you're happy enough. You know, Karaomi will get some free EXP. Already has 5 charged in the Black Rumor, so should be able to hit a level 6 quite nicely anyhow. Get that again on Yamich as well. It's been a little bit of a rougher time for the Gyro support, still stuck at level 3 in comparison to the Warlock at 4. And you do want a fast 6 on Yamich. With secondary strikes, there's a lot of damage to pump out, but as a support Gyro, you don't tend to find the EXP to get that done. Not too many stacks being built up in that triangle as well for MOUZ in comparison to BetBoom. They've got some good stacks, not in the Ancients, but the large camp is free taking for Miero. And again, it's still been a rough game for Miero, but once he gets that Dami up, he should be a little bit more satisfied to playing that farm game. And as long as he gets Doom up, he is always a threat. It does not quite matter whether or not he has that farm. Still scuffling over these runes again. Not quite finding it. Again, MOUZ has been on point with rune control. Gotten lucky several times now in just having a skirmish away from the actual rune and just having the position to take the other rune. Mid one again with a regen up.
That's massive. Regen on the Storm. Everything you can ask for. Happy days so far for MOUZ. 4-1 though, the way of BetBoom. But this draft of MOUZ, it does start to escalate quite quickly once you have that armlet up on Chrysalis and start to look to get involved. GPK still having a great old time on the slider. At halfway to the blink up now. Pretty free lane for himself. No rule contest here for GPK. Of course, Miero's trying to play the catch-up game, but they're not going to allow it. They'll make the jump in on the Doom, make his life impossible in this game 3, and that they certainly are.
Midwin's been putting in the work this game. He's been rotating really nicely with every single power rune. He's not settling down to just farm. He's giving his team a lot of room and really punishing BetBoom for what feels like a slower draft. It's not intended to be completely slow. There is a timing later on that you're going to be playing with Kiritich along with GPK. But for Miera, it certainly has been, at the very least, just a rough game. And they've really exploited that weakness well with Midwin along. Like, there's no early punish for the Storm, and we heard the panel talking about it. There can be such a thing as a too perfect game for certain heroes. Like, Doom has to worry about so many things. You have to think about the Tide, think about the Storm, think about the Huskers. They jump forward again.
They've got Enrage on Kiritich this time around. Boom does have Ravage to play with as well. TPs are forced out, but Boom, can they capitalize off these TPs? They've brought Miero and saved both here. Mid-1 still casually walking out of there. The snowball's not going to reach in time. So Mid-1 perfectly okay to retreat. And nothing will come of these rotations for BetBoom. In fact, they're still waiting. They still want to try for Kiritich. Miero also currently being watched. They'd love to find the Doom another time. The Miero now looking towards the Husker, seeing if we can find the Doom onto Crystallis. Miero going to be spotted eventually. Will turn back the way of Crystallis. Cowrie chases him down. There's your life break into the ice path, but Doom has been committed. Crystallis immediately retreating after that. Miero trying to chase him down and get that extra damage off with the Scorched Earth. But Crystallis looks like he's going to be able to be just fine and turn around now. Back on Miero, looking for the deny on the neutrals, but can't find it. Very nice bait from Crystallis.
Yeah, weaving in and out. A bit optimistic for that chase there from Miero without any backup. And maybe if you had the shards to block, you know, you had even just Shadow Word to get some more damage off, just not there. He was playing solo. Again, we saw that movement across the gate. Save had to stay to protect Kiritich. And that maybe that one move does actually cost him some opportunities. MOUZ, take the freebie, keep that Doom shut down. Miero is at 2.5k net worth. Kataomi on a Warlock is at 2k. Just 500 above a Doom is, for the Doom, is a pretty atrocious game so far. It's going to be a slow process for that recovery, but it is a Doom at least. Still focusing bot.
Mid-1, all over the place, trying for the Ursa again. Kataomi, the only one that was able to TP down. Here comes Save now as one back GPK. He comes in from the north. But nobody able to jump MOUZ. They've got Ravage available. They've got Crystallis here. So it's not a safe fight for BetBoom to try and force. Not over a bottom tier 1 tower. They'll just let it go. At least Miero gets some farming space while all this is happening.
That he does. Again, you want to widen that gap with Kataomi, and he is up to 1,000 gold compared to 500 a moment ago. So only up and up here for our Doom as Devour levels go up as well later on. Smoke out, maybe going on the hunt. They've got, again, that Blink and GPK to catch.
Dude, but they've still got Ravage available on Boom. Now going to find at least Save. Not the biggest deal here for BetBoom. We'll have to watch Save go down as they just have no counterplay potential for GPK right now. He can't jump into 4-5 heroes by himself.
No. I mean, they've got Chaotic Offering if they wanted to force a tighter fight, but they understand it's pretty hard to pin the side of MOUZ altogether like that, although...
Try now, though. Even drop the Golem onto Cowrie, just trying for an easy pickoff. Cowrie walking away, Ice Path to be dropped. Eventually, though, GPK will catch it. So it's a lot of commitment, but they can at least pressure the tier 1 mid tower with the Golem.
That they can, but I know, now Ravage is just free if Boom finds an angle.
GPK, he's going to try for the Tide Hunter. Boom, casually retreating out. And now, Crystallis moving in, but they don't have the lockdown for GPK. In fact, he waves him goodbye. Mid-1 though, he'll come in. In fact, Crystallis, he was right there anyway. Just letting the guard down of BetBoom. GPK, he'll jump in. Doom is up, and now the Ravage connecting on 2 of them. Save, he'll jump right in the middle of all of them, but he's going to drop the boat. GPK, can he get out? It looks like he can. They're out of mana here for mid one. That GPK trying to move back in. Doing a fair bit of damage to the Storm Spirit. But they won't stick around. It's a 3-for-1 trade in the mid lane in the favor of MOUZ.
That it is, but considering the net worth difference of these heroes, I mean, you still come out ahead, but you're not bad off here for the side of BetBoom. You basically traded, at this point, 3 supports for a core, and you're kind of happy enough to find that core. Miero does get a huge shot of gold just being active in that fight. And again, when you drop that chaotic offering for 1 kill, Ravage is going to be highly effective here from Boom. He's going to be able to get the angle. They don't have to worry about the counter initiate. They get the Doom off to lock in Crystallis, but again, all of that control kicking in here for the side of BetBoom. Ravage plus Macropyre on top. Too much damage to sustain on BetBoom, but again, that is a sacrifice you're willing to make on BetBoom. You are pretty far behind on a couple of these cores. Miero getting a shot in the arm is a pretty big deal. And you do force out Ravage later than Chaotic Offering. So you'll have Chaotic Offering back up while Ravage is down. There's a window here for BetBoom to consider maybe forcing some movement across the map if they'd want. And then get this recovery process underway. They've still had a really good game on Kiritich. Like this Ursa with Battle Fury has been scaling up quite fast.
He even used the stun just then as well, so GPK can't slithering crush mid one as he zips in. They'll go for save instead though. GPK way too fast to keep up with right now. Mid one more than happy with any kill. GPK will be perfectly fine.
Yeah, I mean, mid one's just been popping off. 10 Galvanized stacks up now. Free 3 mana regen early on is massive. And for the side of BetBoom, and it's just space. Space for Kiritich, space for Miero. Finally getting that Dominator up on Miero relatively soon. And the Blink for Kiritich not too far off. So a couple of key timings coming in for Miero, maybe a little bit more farming oriented for sure. I mean, you can make some good micro work out with a creep along with your Devour ability. So I suppose there's some play there. But the real big deal is going to be this Blink on Kiritich. You can start to think about Roshan. You can start about thinking about jumping backline. Heck, he's actually going for BKB first on the Ursa, which I respect. There's a lot of AoE control, a lot of magic damage. BKB on Kiritich much earlier than you'd expect. Can catch the side of MOUZ off guard. Find themselves a freebie tier 1 on the mid. And they get themselves another root up on mid 1. The Illusion Room going to be a bit of a nuisance to kind of try to pin down the Storm. Mid 1 has a little bit more leeway to play on edge if you'd want.
They're looking at Kiritich now. Kiritich able to get back into that Radiant jungle. He's okay. Save and Kataomi also hanging around the mid lane, but they're just protecting their Ursa. Ready to tank any kind of gank incoming. There is a 3-man smoke committed by MOUZ. They'd love to find Miero again. Miero now able to scout out at least with the Helmet, the Dominator he has now picked up. Will lose the creep immediately, but gets the information required to retreat from that area. The rest of MOUZ moving down towards the bottom lane. Save in position again to break the smoke, although he does move down. They'll see Kiritich. Carry and Boom immediately running directly towards the Ursa, and from the twin gates, they'll cut Kiritich off. Nowhere is safe for the poor Ursa. He'll try to take down the Tide, but he's out of enrage. Nothing to do here for Kiritich but die. Very nice positioning from MOUZ. Very, very nice. Just cutting him off the twin gate.
Yeah, that's all off the movement of mid 1 top, right? Like he was trying to play poke top, has access to the gate, and they don't even concede any spell here on the side of MOUZ. They hold on to Ravage, they hold on to even a call down with secondary strikes, not necessary. They have Macropyre ready. Doesn't cost them much to find that big kill that will keep the side of BetBoom a little bit more uneasy for longer. 6-9, 3k lead coming out now for the side of MOUZ. An Arcane Rune for mid 1. Gonna be happy to dive in forward now. Once more, I mean, he's been a very happy Storm. 14 Galvanized up. So many freebies to take. Have to be so cautious with the supports here on BetBoom. Especially Kataomi. Like, this Warlock is so key to a lot of fights. They catch save.
They are going to jump in on Boom. Boom still has the Ravage to play with. Thinking about popping it. We'll pump fake for now. They'll drop the Golem on top of Boom. He's able to casually walk out of it. Even with all the heroes rotating in, it's just nowhere near enough. And they don't want to continue trying to chase either, because now mid one, he's got an Arcane Rune active. He'd love to fight at the moment.
That he would. So costly for BetBoom. Without that counter initiation, so much now relies on, say, a good crush out from GPK with a blink. You don't even have Miero in the area to even consider the Doom, although he is working towards a blink after now. Now that the full Dominator is up, you're just free to do what you want at this moment for the side of MOUZ. They aren't even under pressure to look for this team fight with Ravage. In fact, they don't even build up the blink on Boom. He had it queued up a while ago. It's just opting for the Shivas instead, and just more ways to kite around in the middle of these team fights will do some good work here on the side of MOUZ. A little bit of a chase bot.
Are they hunting or being hunted? A little bit afraid. They're going to avoid any kind of fight. Miero is around the corner, but the vision, keeping tabs of BetBoom at the moment. Great vision from MOUZ. More TPs down bottom. They do see mid one. Kiritich just wrapping around the tree line, not showing himself yet, but mid one, he's going to zip towards the mid creep wave. They are still smoked up on BetBoom. They do have the blink on GPK to try and make the jump in, and in fact, they are going to give it a crack. Mid one, fighting over the power rune. It'll be spawning bottom anyway. And he knows they are probably around this area. GPK, he'll pick up the invis for himself. Meanwhile, MOUZ, they'll just take the free Tormentor.
Yep. No contest coming out. You're in the completely wrong side of the map here for BetBoom. And a freebie shard for Kaori. More damage coming in now from our twin-headed dragon. See if they can capitalize on this gate move across once more. Norway bot Crystallis, we haven't even kept an eye on him in some time. Does have the full Sanj, along with the armlet and the Hurricane Pike is going for the Sanj and Yasha with some armor to back it up with an AC later on. There's that blink timing we were looking for as they're forcing out something.
Big item timing for Miero. Kaori's going to go down. GPK off to a good start with this fight. Mid one's looking to zip in. They don't know the blink on Miero is there. In fact, now they'll see it. Big call down from Yamich. Even the Congregation of the Deep. Everything helping MOUZ. Miero. He's going to pop Doom, but he's down. Kataomi to go as well. Chrysalis, he is being chased. They will find the Husker. It's still not too bad of a fight for BetBoom. They can find a little bit more, and it seems like they will. Boom to drop. Mid one out of mana. He'll leave the area. And BetBoom, they do find a great fight for themselves. A 2-for-3 trade. It looked so bad to start, but it seems as though once the Ravage was expended, they were out of gas.
Yeah, it just takes too long. Your damage isn't quite there yet on the side of MOUZ. In fact, with a carry Husker, it does feel like you're reliant on prolonged fights, and that's exactly what you'd want anyhow on the side of BetBoom. You enjoy whacking away on targets here for Kiritich. You know, you stack up those Fury swipes. You don't care at all. It's also pretty awkward from BetBoom. Like, yeah, you lose a couple of heroes. You get the Doom off, but it's showing just the potential for BetBoom because they doomed up Yamich. Like, that's not a key target to Doom at all. Now, we were talking about having it on mid one, having it in Chrysalis. They didn't even need to doom either of them up. Right? Miero just dooms Gyro, and you get all of this space out from MOUZ, and it's still not enough to fully win out the fight. The BKB as well, coming out on Kiritich, prevents a lot of that hold, prevents a lot of that damage going onto the Ursa, and it's just a free game for him if you don't have a way of stopping him in that debuff immunity.
Well, MOUZ will still have first dibs on this Roshan. They won't be willing to give that one up. Even with that last team fight, they still know the Roshan can go down quick, but they are coming in from BetBoom. It's too late though. Aegis up on our Husker. Mid one, zips in. Vortex onto the Warlock. Stun, the Ice Path, the Macro Pyre! That's one down. Kiritich's BKB TPing out to even drop the Golem to give him the space. They'll lose Kataomi. But Miero and Kataomi both gone. The perfect lineup.
That's the best you could hope for coming out from MOUZ. And for BetBoom, you know, we were there were some talks about their win rate against Jakiro. They tend to enjoy clumping up in these areas. Jakiro's just punishing them so hard. Again, that output from the Macro Pyre, that area control from the Ice Pad, the fact that you're forced to re-engage without being able to doom. Here, I believe, was still waiting for it on cooldown just for a few more seconds. They just never found the opportunity. MOUZ get away with everything once more. Look at them clump around. Again, BetBoom just looking to retreat after failing on the smoke, and it's just easy pickings from that point forward. Miero, again, didn't even have Doom ready. Just not the time to fight for BetBoom. Caught with her pants down, and MOUZ get to run away with it. In advantage now, 9-13, 6K lead up, 2 lives in Crystallis. And Crystallis already has that early plate mail. Love that from him. Opting for that armor instead of the Yasha. First, he doesn't. He's got some time before the physical damage really starts to hurt him. He's got a window to react.
I feel like you got to give credit to Mid-1 though. Mid-1's forcing these very ugly fights from BetBoom. And to think this guy was basically retired for the longest time, comes back, and it still seems like Mid-1's on top of the. Like he's still one of the top mid laners. I mean, clearly, based off the results here for MOUZ.
Yeah, he has been. You know, he's had a rough go of it after leaving Southeast Asia for a bit. You know, and even in Southeast Asia,
it is what it is.
You know, Team SMG wasn't. It was hot and cold. They were entertaining, at least, right? And here we are being entertained by Mid-1 again. Another Tier 2 tower set to fall. Still 3 minutes left in this Aegis for Crystallis.
They want to go.
Nothing to stop them here.
They want that date with Team Liquid tomorrow. Crystallis start to move in onto that Tier 3 tower.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
No defense to come from BetBoom yet. 2.5 minutes, of course, on this Aegis of Crystallis. BKB now up on Miero. He should feel a little bit safer initiating. He's got the Doom up, they will jump in, trying for the Husker. Crystallis almost losing the first life, still not down. Walking out of there, and saves the one to drop. Kiritich in the middle of nowhere. He needs to retreat, but nobody's helping. They'll drop the Golem. Karaomi, he'll jump in along with Miero with the stun and the Doom out on Mid-1. Ravage committed. It won't do enough though. GPK, they've cleaned up. It works out for the side of BetBoom. They've just got to deal with Crystallis a second time. Mid-1, he fought back. He'll zip right back in onto GPK. They'll find the Slaughter. Miero also in trouble. Karaomi barely walking out. Not quite though, they'll find him. 4 down for BetBoom. 1 more for the wipe. Tips for Crystallis. And save will drop. Full team wipe for BetBoom. Excuse me, rather for MOUZ.
I don't know what to say. That was maybe a few seconds too early.
It was a
BetBoom.
double team one.
Yeah, pretty much. It was maybe, again, just a few seconds too early for BetBoom. They got the Fatal Bonds off. They got the setup they'd want. Chaotic Offering was like 10 seconds away when they get that full commitment with a jump in. If you had Chaotic Offering first, that could have been a very different story. You have the window to burst. You can kind of ignore Crystallis, take care of Mid-1 earlier on, and save your Doom for the secondary life of Crystallis, perhaps. Not quite the way the cookie crumbles. They felt pressured in BetBoom, and they get punished hard. They lose 2 sets of racks. Range racks in mid still stands.
They want more. Heritage, no. It's going to be Karaomi instead. The Warlock. Glimmer Cape away. It's not going to make a difference. Mid-1. Unrelenting. Second racks down. Blood in the water here for MOUZ. Tier 4 towers is where they'll go. There's still a Tier 2 tower bottom, so they can't go for the Megas. They're just committing all the way for this. BetBoom, they're lacking so much here. 20 seconds even for the Doom of Miero. It just feels like you can't even fight without that.
You really can't. And even with it, it's just been a rough go. For the side of BetBoom, their team fight.
Oh, Axon, Mid-1.
Oh,
Here we go. The blue hole is up.
Oh, BetBoom. MOUZ. I mean, they've been touch and go. They've had some good moments. They've had some really interesting drafts, and they've got a huge advantage.
Back up. They're going to try. They're on to the Husker. They found Crystallis. Mid-1. Can you save this team fight? BetBoom, they'll rush towards the Tide. Try to deal with him, but boot him. He's really, really tanky. With that Kraken shell, even the Nullifier will not help out as Mid-1 jumps back in. The Ravage onto 2. Mid-1. He's the carry now. Save. He's going to walk out of there. They'll find Kiritich, but they need to leave. BetBoom successfully find 3. maybe even 4 now with Boom being jumped. A regen rune for mid one.
No.
Oh, Gaben, please. It's a little bit too much, isn't it? GPK. He'll walk out of there, but mid one, he's thinking about continuing. Vortex out, save. He'll jump back in again. Even the golden drop. Mid one, though, he's still alive. Still has the mana. Still walking. GPK, Yule stuff. Can't get the job done. Now the ice path and the macro pyre. JPK's gone. Kataomi running. Mid one. He's still around if they need him. Kataomi down now.
Is under
The Ancient still exposed.
The creeps are just hitting away just a little bit. Miaro with a micro is keeping it at bay. But man, we were talking about mid one's performance earlier.
Wow, wow, wow.
Holy, is he playing on a different level right now
He's
in
got a
game 3.
vendetta. He has a vendetta.
He's out to prove something, and he's certainly proving that he's still
proven
one
it.
of the best. Crystallis now onto that Ancient. They're forcing out the buybacks. There's no chaotic offering here from Kataomi with that buyback, though.
Oh, go again. Miero gonna jump in with the stun, trying to blow up Crystallis, but mid one jumping right in. Kiritic trying to focus down the Husker. The go, the Vortex though, mid one puts an end to all of it. The Enrage is there, but it's nothing. GG has called. MOUZ, they'll get themselves to the lower bracket final.
I don't think anyone expected these results at all from this. We were seeing the odds before every game, every single time. BetBoom the favorite team, but MOUZ